FPL Game Week 19 players to buy and my team selection. Game Week 18 finished just yesterday, and we have another deadline to look forward to tomorrow on Sunday. So in today's video, we'll be doing the Vert verified power ranking, my favorite players to buy, my favorite Game Week 19 wildcard draft, as it's the last week to use your first wildcard if you haven't already, and finally my own transfer plans for my own team and the team selection. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button and hit that subscribe. Let's get into it. What's up? It's FPL Vert, where arrows go green, and for the first time in 3 game weeks they didn't go green, unfortunately, but we'll be talking about that in my team selection later in this video. Everything will be timestamped, so if you want to skip ahead you can, but as there's a very short turnaround, we're going to be doing the Vert verified power ranking, my top 5 for the next 5 in this section. Then we're going to go into my favorite wildcard 19 wildcard draft, as it's the last week to use it, the first one, and then my own transfer plans and team selection with captaincy. So starting with the goalkeepers, or as always, we do have Pickford at number 1 after he saved a penalty and returned 9 points. And yeah, Everton have now been keeping clean sheets for fun. And of course they didn't keep a clean sheet, they drew 1-1, but he still managed to return. And as you can see over the next 5, they do have not amazing fixtures, but decent enough fixtures. So if you want to, cheap out, well, not cheap out, if you want to get a cheaper goalkeeper, you can get Pickford, but Alisson would still be my main pick personally. But yeah, I mean that's up for debate. I don't mind spending a little bit extra for a better defense. Essentially, as you can see from the expected goals conceded per 90, I would have Anderson number 3 just because of the fixture turn that Crystal Palace are about to embark on, and you'll see that we do have a few other Crystal Palace picks later in this. And of course Sells is number 4, and then Dubravka is number 5 just because he's playing at the moment, but I do think Pope will come back at some point very soon. But he has kept 3 successive clean sheets since he's come in, so I think he's doing very well. Into the defenders, and we do have Lewis Hall at number 1 as always because of his continued performance. He's now kept 3 successive clean sheets, but it's actually the first time he didn't get a bonus point. Of course he got a 15 pointer, then he had 7 points and just the 6 points this time. I'm joking, but he is very much involved in open play, and his 11 key passes in the last 5 game weeks is only behind Trent Alexander-Arnold. We do have Daniel Munoz number 2 as well, just because he's getting in very exciting positions, and as mentioned already, Crystal Palace are embarking on a fixture swing, starting with Southampton at home in game week 19, so I think that's the best place to go for sure. Gabriel Magalhaes managed to miss a massive chance for Arsenal against Ipswich, literally hit the post from a yard out, so definitely should have scored. And of course not the best fixtures, but Arsenal still do have a very strong defence, as we already know. And of course he's still the massive threat from the set pieces. Then Ola Aina continues to return. He's now the highest scoring defender in the game, which is crazy to think about. I probably wouldn't buy new personally, but he's definitely number 4 in the power ranking. And then Trent number 5, just because we know what he can do. Of course he didn't return this time, but he did assist last week against Tottenham in game week 18. Into the midfielders, and of course there's only one number 1 spot because Mohamed Salah is now averaging over 10 points every game, and he's 14 points off 200 points when no one else has even passed 150 points. So that just tells you the kind of season he's having, and of course if you don't own him already, please go and buy him. Cole Palmer comes in at number 2. Of course he managed to score in their defeat at home to Fulham, which was kind of a surprise, but I'm not really surprised as Fulham have actually been playing quite well. They go away to Ipswich next, and of course Chelsea still have great fixtures for a long time, so we'll be going there for sure. I've got Gordon at number 3 just because he scored a very beautiful goal as well. He just curled it into the top corner and took home 10 points. So I think, if you want someone, maybe a new Saka replacement, then you could probably go Gordon. But I would prefer to buy Ismaila Sarr new. He did actually manage to score an offside goal against Bournemouth. And I think, as mentioned already, with Munoz and Henderson, Crystal Palace have a great fixture turn, which is worth investment. And we do have Morgan Rogers coming in at number 5 just because of his price, what he offers. And of course he scored 2 goals in his last 3 home games as well for the welcome of Brighton in game week 19. Just like Mohamed Salah, Alexander Isak retains his number 1 spot because of his form. He has now scored in 5 successive game weeks, and he's now crossed 100 points to be on 105 points now. And of course goes away to United, which historically is not an easy fixture, but I mean United are in awful form at the moment. They've actually lost 4 of their last 5 league games, scoring just 4 goals in that time as well. So I think, Man United is not a fixture to worry about. If you don't own Isak already, definitely go and get him. And then the rest of the forwards are actually kind of a minefield, really. Nicholas Jackson didn't score, of course, but he does have great fixtures, including in game week 19. He's away to Ipswich, who are, of course, a promoted team. Then you've got Cody Gakpo, who's actually started the last 6 games. So, maybe not as much rotation problems with him. I still would be wary, of course. But yeah, if you want a differential, I did say this previously as well. If you want a differential, Cody Gakpo is definitely the one. I think if you have enough free transfers, Ollie Watkins is definitely one to jump onto, because of course Durant is suspended for 3 games, but he'll serve one of those suspensions in FA Cup. So Ollie Watkins definitely will start for game week 19 and 20, he should start. And then speaking of people not starting, Cunha is starting still, despite having been charged by the FA. But I do genuinely believe it's down to the FA being out of office or enjoying their holidays. So he does have a banning coming, and of course the fixtures, as you can see, are terrible as well. But he's in form, and he's got the highest scoring forward in the game now. So yeah, if you haven't got Cunha, maybe just keep him. So into the game week 19 wildcard, and as mentioned already, game week 19 is the last week to use your first wildcard, because of course we get given 2 wildcards across the season, and the second one getting given in game week 20. So if you haven't used your wildcard already, or you're just interested in seeing what the optimal picks look like for now, this is what I would personally go with. I'd go with Pickford at the moment, because they're just in incredible defensive form. Trent, Gabriel, Munoz are very easy picks. I've got a lot of route to points going forward and at the back as well. And of course you could have the big 2, Mohamed Salah and Palmer. I personally own Foden, of course. He did blank against Everton, but he did put up 7 key passes and 2 big chances created, and that's why he took home a bonus point despite getting the yellow card and also not getting an attacking return. Morgan Rogers as well, he's got great fixtures and he's great to rotate with Joao Pedro, who continues to disappoint, and Ismaila Sarr of course would come in as well given the fixture swing that Crystal Palace have. Alexander Isak is the most informed forward in the game, and then Nicholas Jackson also has long-term fixtures as well, and there's not really anyone else to pick. Of course we have Lewis Hall on the bench, and Roger just the 3rd sub who plays, and Vladimir Marston as the playing 3.9 goalkeeper as well. Then into my own team and how it did in game week 18. Yeah, as mentioned, it was a red arrow for the first time in 3 game weeks. 5 points off the safety score. Not too sure which players I was really missing apart from Cunha. So it seems like a bit of a harsh red arrow, but that's the game we play. But yeah, Captain Mo Salah returned. Palmer did outscore him, of course, but that's okay. Foden did blank, as already mentioned, but I saw enough from that performance to be very happy to own him for the next 4 fixtures, maybe 5, given that Chelsea are now losing games at home to Fulham in game week 22, I believe. But yeah, City have Leicester away, West Ham at home, Brentford away, and then Ipswich away before they host Chelsea. So I think very good to own Foden for now, for sure. Joao Pedro now blanked 5 game weeks in a row, which is a bit of a cause for concern, but can just bench him, especially as Morgan Rogers has better fixtures now. And Nicholas Jackson, yeah, he didn't have the best game, but as soon as when Chelsea took him off, they brought in Nkunku. They were leading 1-0, and then of course they lost 2-1. So Chelsea are definitely a worse team without Jackson in the team, so I'm not too concerned about his minutes for now. Into my own planned transfer, so it's not actually been made yet, but it will definitely be made before the deadline on Sunday. Enzo Fernandez, he's served me well. He's given me some profit as well. He's risen by 0.2. He's given me some returns. He gave me an assist as well. But at the end of the day, he is a midfielder that sits quite deep, and I think it's time for something a bit more exciting. So I'm going to go for Ismaila Sarr, as really recommended in the midfielders and the wildcard draft as well. He actually had a goal ruled out against Bournemouth, already mentioned, and he's got great fixtures to attack, starting with Chelsea at home. I'm starting with Southampton at home, but I do think Chelsea do concede as well, and of course there's Leicester, West Ham and Brentford all in the next 5 as well. So I think it's a pretty simple transfer to make. And into the team selection finally, and Alisson travels to West Ham to face what would have been Fabianski, but of course Fabianski suffered a collision and it looks like he'll be out for some time now. And of course Liverpool haven't actually kept a clean sheet in any of Alisson's 3 appearances since returning to injury, but they are putting up good underlying numbers, and they did concede the least amount of XG in the entirety of game week 18, so just going to stick at it. Trent Alexander-Arnold joins Alisson in the trip to the capital, of course looking to build on his assist. The last time he was in the capital, of course, assisting Luis Diaz in the opener in the Tottenham game. Gabriel Magalhaes kind of owns his own as a goal, having missed a massive chance against Ipswich from yet again another set piece, but just underlines his threat from set pieces when playing in this Arsenal team. And of course, Brentford has now been upgraded to a red in the FDR, but they haven't been in great form too recently, and they just drew blank against Brighton actually. So yeah, not a great bad fixture. Of course, the next spot is actually between Lewis Hall and Lucas Digne. Kind of not up for debate at the moment because United have been pretty terrible, and Lewis Hall himself has 11 key passes in the last 5 game weeks, and his opponents, Manchester United, have lost 4 of their past 5 league games, scoring just 4 goals in that time. Only promoted Ipswich and Southampton have scored fewer. Mohamed Salah will retain the captaincy because he is just averaging over 10 points per game at the moment, and in fact in his last 4 away trips he's put up 7 goals and returned 3 assists, which is averaging 15.5 points per match in away games in the last 4 trips. And West Ham themselves have given up 24 big chances in the last 6 game weeks, and of course Salah's returned in each of his last 10 successive game weeks. Of course they had a blank game week because of the Everton game, but yeah, I think it's a very easy captaincy once again. Cole Palmer, he managed to score, took home 10 points as well in a loss at home to Fulham. And of course Ipswich, they didn't make it easy for Arsenal, but I just think, no reason to really back against Salah at the moment. Ismaila Sarr comes into the side, will be selling Enzo Fernandez. His 4 goals and 2 assists in the last 4 game weeks ranks top amongst midfielders. Only Salah and Palmer have more points amongst midfielders in the last 4 game weeks, so very easy buy right there. Phil Foden keeps his spot in as we search for our first return since owning of him. Of course he did blank against Everton, but he also did get a bonus point due to his creativity on display. He put up 7 key passes and created 2 big chances. At least one of them should have gone in really, especially the Bernardo Silva one. But Leicester have been pretty terrible at keeping goals out at the moment. In fact, they've conceded a league high 12 goals in the last 4 game weeks, so we hope for some goals here and also for some involvement as well. Morgan Rogers has scored in 2 of his last 3 home matches, and his 9 key passes is top for all Aston Villa players. Brighton have also conceded 9 goals in their last 5 matches, so let's hope for some returns here. Nicholas Jackson will be looking to put things right, having blanked back to back recently. He could, I guess, get benched for Christopher Nkunku, but as mentioned already, I do think they are a worse side without Jackson in the team, as he can hold the ball a bit better. Of course he's a bit more of a presence, and I think he's just primed to feast on the Ipswich team, who are just conceding goals for fun at the moment. And Alexander Isak will be looking to score in his 6th successive league game, having scored 7 goals in his last 5. Manchester United have already shipped 11 goals in the last 5 game weeks, and as already mentioned, have lost 4 of their last 5 league games. So that's how we're looking for today, for game week 19. I hope you enjoyed the video. Of course, we covered the power ranking, we covered the game week 19 wildcard draft, and we covered my own team as well. So if you have any other questions, please drop them in the comments. I'm really appreciating, of course, more and more of you are commenting. Of course, I will reply to all of them, and you can also DM me on Instagram, you can DM me on Twitter, and I'll be sure to answer it as soon as I see it. So hope you enjoy the Christmas weekend. Of course, no football on the wet Saturday feels a bit weird, but no one really knows which days it is at the moment, do we? So see you on Sunday, and hope to see you soon.